What's going on, everyone? This is Anthony Sharp with Sharp Moves. And I-35 just isn't a road for us anymore in Texas. For a lot of folks, it's becoming proof of a continuous innovation. And as I drive the corridor now, I don't just see cars, I see a ton of possibilities in upcoming businesses. Tesla is building big. Meta is planning a long term, and their infrastructure moves might reshape how we think about real estate here in San Antonio and Austin. Not just today, but for decades to come. So if you're buying or investing, you absolutely want to hear this. And if you're new here, kindly hit the subscribe button. I break down big corporate moves and how they tie into the housing strategy, so let's dive right in. Number one, Tesla's I-35 expansion, more than just cars. So first, let's talk about Tesla. Recently, Tesla announced a $10.4 million project, a combined sales and service center in New Braunfels, right off the I-35 corridor. This is a 47,000 square foot facility, so it isn't a tiny repair shop, it's a full-scale service hub. Now, why does that matter for housing? Well, it means stable long-term employment, technicians, EV specialists, admin staff, people who need to live somewhere. And more EV services equals more EV traffic, so people driving EVs along I-35 will increasingly rely on the local services. And it creates a practical anchor. When a global company like Tesla invests directly on 35, it signals confidence in this corridor's growth. And here's where many will miss the ripple. As Tesla strengthens infrastructure along the I-35, it can pull in related businesses. Parts suppliers, logistic firms, even EV charging station developers. That kind of economic gravity lifts residential demand, especially in neighborhoods that are 15 to 30 minutes off the main highway. For a smart buyer, getting in before that infrastructure fully matures can be a pretty good strategic move. Number two, let's get into Meta's renewable energy plan. Powering its next generation data infrastructure, while they're not building a massive campus directly on I-35 here, their energy strategy is deeply tied to Texas, and that affects real estate opportunities in meaningful ways. Meta recently signed a 600 megawatt power purchase agreement with Enbridge for a solar project called Clear Fork, located in San Antonio. This solar farm is massive. This is a $900 million investment, and Meta is set to offtake all of its power under this long-term agreement. What's more, some of Meta's renewable power deals also include projects like Engie, bringing overall clean energy commitment to Texas to over 1.3 gigawatts. So here's what that means for housing. Data center demands, even though Meta's new AI-ready data center is in El Paso, which is not right off the 35, its energy infrastructure here matters a ton. Green infrastructure growth, investments in solar farms equal local jobs, construction and operations, for example, which also need housing. Sustainability appeal. Some buyers today highly prioritize living near companies that support renewable energy, which can shift demand toward areas near these power projects. And if you've been thinking, maybe I don't want any job anchor, what about green anchors? This is exactly that opportunity list. And number three, how these moves might reshape real estate demand along the I-35 corridor. Putting Tesla and Meta together, you start to see a very interesting corridor story forming. Long-term job anchors, with Tesla and Meta investing in infrastructure, not just a pass-through presence, they create durable demand. Economic gravity shifts, logistics, clean energy firms, EV suppliers. These are the companies that follow these big anchors, and that can drive residential development along the I-35. Corridor investment zones. As I-35 gets more tech and EV infrastructure, local governments may invest more in road upgrades, utilities, and community planning, and that's a big deal for housing, lifestyle, and sustainability. Some homeowners will buy not just for the location, but for the future. EV-friendly, green-powered, and corridor access. But this is critical. Not all neighborhoods benefit equally. You don't always want to be right next to the highway and too much traffic, too much infrastructure noise. The sweet spot is often just a little bit off the corridor, close enough to feel the growth, but far enough to retain the quality of life. If this is resonating with you, that real estate opportunity isn't just the city center anymore, but along infrastructure corridors like I-35. Please hit that subscribe button, share the love, and drop a comment. And tell me, are you thinking of buying between San Antonio and Austin? And do you want help mapping out neighborhoods that could benefit from Tesla and EV growth or Meta energy buildouts? I'd love to figure that out and see where we can look for you. Number four, risk and smart consideration for buyers. Now let's keep it real. Not all of this is risk-free or guaranteed. And here are the major things I think smart buyers should watch for. Proximity risk. Homes too close to the industrial EV infrastructure could suffer from noise, traffic, or congestion. Speculative timing. Some of these investments are really early or mid phases. The upside might play over 5 to 7 years or maybe a little longer. And lifestyle fit. People don't always move for job anchors alone. You've got to go to think schools and commutes and whether the area is livable. Local policy, infrastructure, and zoning decisions could make or break these projects actually making housing impact. Partnering right. Use a realtor. Again, I can always help you, who understands infrastructure plays. Knowing which builders or communities are aligned with future growth is absolutely key. And if you lean in too early without doing your homework, you risk paying a premium for things that may take years to materialize. But if you do your research and pick the right area, you might get in before others see the value. And number 5, a looking forward strategy. How to play this as a buyer or investor. So what's a smart strategy for someone watching this? Here's the playbook I'd follow. Map the corridor. Outline neighborhoods along the I-35 that are 10 to 30 minutes away and look at the current comps and projected growth. Track infrastructure announcement. Use local news, city planning docs, and economic development reports to follow Tesla, Meta, and energy investments. And run different scenarios. Model return based on base growth, EV infrastructure, growth, and green energy demand. I'd also want to talk to builders. Ask which subdivision are being positioned for future infrastructure growth versus pure speculation. Hold or flip smart. Even if you're hold for 5+ years, you could see the upside. But make sure you're buying for value and vision, not just the flip speed. Some of the best wealth building plays in real estate happen at infrastructure inflection points. And I believe I-35 plus Tesla plus Meta could be one of those. So let's recap. Tesla is building a serious service hub on I-35 in New Braunfels. Meta is doubling down on clean energy in Texas, including solar near San Antonio. These moves aren't just about tech. They're about long-term infrastructure and job anchors and sustainable demand. For real estate, that means opportunity, but you've got to be strategic, patient, and thoughtful if you want help analyzing neighborhoods, timing your purchase, or projecting where the value could go. That's what I'm here for. If you don't want to miss more updates on how big company infrastructure is shaping San Antonio, hit the subscribe button now. Again, my name is Anthony Sharp, and I'd love to be the first one to say to you and your family, welcome to San Antonio. Let's make your move a sharp one, and this is Sharp Moves.